Hey, today I want to tell a tale of personal growth, my own personal growth in overcoming anxiety. I had the most difficult trial this week, but I did it. And I want to share a little bit with you about how I did it so you can learn too. Check it out. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome back to another My 5 Minds production. This is where we're learning about systems or systemology with a P. It's where we're learning how to be better, do better, and feel better, right? Today I want to share a story of my own personal growth, of my own personal success. I have been working on personal growth for probably 35 years, really, literally, my own personal growth, because I've struggled with depression and anxiety all of my life. And it hasn't been up until the last really 5 years that I've made the most progress. And because of a technique that I'm learning, I've learned through creating systems. And that's by monitoring my emotions. See, now that sounds kind of silly, but for most psychology, emotions are kind of a secondary focal point. We want to work on thoughts, or we want to work on mindfulness, or we want to work on some behaviors, or we want to work on medications. We want to work on something that wants to influence, or we're hoping to influence, our emotions with. But with systemology, we can deal directly with the emotional mind, who I call Emma. And that's what I did with this particular example. And so let me share you a story of what I did, and you can get a kind of a feel for what it is to work directly with your emotions instead of our normal indirect. Well, the way the story goes, and the reason why we're here, is because the other day my receiver went down. I don't know why, it just kind of died on me. And so I had to go to the store and I had to get a new 7.2 receiver. Now, most of the time, this kind of stuff would give me anxiety off the chart. I would not be able to do stuff like this because I would just become so flooded with feelings. And probably halfway through, I'd quit. Or I'd just stop. Kind of put it all in boxes, maybe take the boxes back. I don't know. But this project, what is awesome about this project that I did was that everything went wrong. Everything failed. And yet, I was able to keep my anxiety in check. Now, the way I did that was I created a feedback loop. Again, like I said before, the key is being able to monitor your emotions directly. Most of the time, I would watch my thoughts. And so if I was working on a project like this and I was getting any kind of negative thinking going on, I try to keep that under control. No, Brett, you're not stupid. No, Brett, you're not an idiot. No, this is not just you. But here, when you do that, most of the time, the problem is that it keeps you focused on your negative thoughts, right? Isn't that weird? Here I am trying to get rid of negative thoughts so I can not get flooded with anxiety. But by paying attention to my negative thoughts, I'm giving them attention, and that actually makes them worse. But this time I did something new. This time, I watched my energy. See, energy flows in two different ways. Energy flows in terms of the amount or volume of energy, and it also flows in directionality, in terms of collapsing or flowing. Most of the time when we're in a bad place or a bad mood, our energy is collapsing. And so what I wanted to do was, as I'm working on this project, I wanted to make sure that I kept the temperature. I kept the temperature of my energy in a nice, even place. Not too high, not too much energy, but also keeping the energy moving and flowing. And in the past, I didn't know what to focus on, so I couldn't do that. And the other thing that's really beneficial about monitoring my anxiety in this situation is that this was stressful. Everything that could have gone wrong in this story went wrong. See, let me back up another step. In order to fix that receiver, what I had to do was I had to feed a cable from the TV back down through the wall and back all the way down to that receiver over there. Now, the trouble with that was that there was already a cable in there, and it was the wrong cable. It wasn't going to match up with the new receiver. It was a 3-prong cable, maybe somebody can tell me what it was, red, blue, green. And it just wasn't going to work in the new receiver. The new receiver wanted an HDMI cable. So I got this HDMI cable, and here's the disaster. I first tried to get it into the hole, into the tube that back through the wall. Didn't work because the old cable was still in there. So I'm using fishing line or what we call fishers and putting in wire down there. That didn't work. Hours and hours go by, and I finally am able to get a cable down in there. And what happens? I hook it up, and it doesn't work. We got sound, we got audible through all the speakers, but no picture up there. Great. So I pull the cable out again. Get a new cable, lash that to the old cable. Well, lash the old cable first before I pull that out. As I pull the old cable out, I pull the new cable in, hook that system up, and it doesn't work again. Brand new cable, 2 brand new cables, and it doesn't work. And I'm thinking, disaster, disaster. Now again, this would be a perfect moment for my anxiety to go out the roof, because I have all of this energy trying to get this project done, flooding my body, but it has nowhere to go. The project's not working. It's not going where it should go. And that would shut me down. That would normally collapse the anxiety. But because now I have a feedback loop within my nervous system, and I can regulate, I can be aware of what my anxiety, what my energy is doing, I can make sure I'm watching and not letting, when it starts to collapse, not letting it collapse. Stopping, taking a break, walking around, doing whatever I need to do, but keeping that energy always calm and flowing, calm and flowing. And as I do that, I'm able to go step by step, cable after cable. So finally I go and I buy this really super expensive cable, okay? Best Buy, super expensive cable, hook it up. I hook it up before I put it through that system or through the wall. It works fine. It works great. So then I think, okay, this is going to be it. This is going to be the magic. So I feed it through, hook it up again, and now it doesn't work. Keep the energy going. Keep the energy flowing. Don't let it collapse. As I keep my energy flowing, I'm good. I can do this. Keep some little positive thoughts going on there. Keeping my energy moving. Then I start working the cable, and luckily something magic happens. Somehow, as I'm working the new cable around, the old cable starts to give. And the old cable starts to move. And I'm able to pull the old cable out and then put the new cable in one more time. And when I do it that way, it was the magic trick. I don't know why the old cable was interfering with the new cable, but it was. And by feeding it through one more time, I think out of 6 or 7 times, this time it actually worked. And the system is now up and running. So kudos for me to get the system up and running. But really the story of success for me in that whole scenario was that I was able to do it and keep my energy flowing. And that was really the key. The key to staying calm, the key to not getting anxious, was to able to monitor my energy. That's going to be the key for you, because it's creating instantaneous, spontaneous feedback loops, getting feedback on what's going on inside of you that's going to create the greatest change. Let me use this quick analogy real quick. If I was going to teach you how to play the guitar, and you played a couple bars and a couple songs and recorded it and brought it to me. And then a week later, I'm looking at it and listening to it and going, okay, well, here's where we can change this and where we can change that. It's not that useful. There's too much of a time delay in that system. But if I could be there whispering in your ear as you're playing, oh, try this, move this, oh, your finger here is a little bit off, and I could give you feedback as you were learning, as you were practicing, how much better could you get? How much faster could you learn? And that's what happens when we start monitoring our emotions directly instead of indirectly through other parts of our brain. By monitoring the energy directly, you can get instantaneous feedback, which will allow you the greatest leverage and the greatest amount of creating change. Now, homework for you, I want you to monitor. I want you to monitor your energy. If you want, go back to the video on superheroes, and I think it was on superheroes and superpowers. And I want you to watch that, because that talks a little bit about flow and collapse. And it'll help you, again, learn a little bit about how your emotional systems work. Try it, practice it, start to become aware for yourself. That's your homework. Again, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink. And if you like this video, like the video. If you want to learn more about systems and your own psychology, subscribe. Thank you so much for staying on and watching My 5 Minds. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.